Hey, everybody, welcome to another segment of Smarterfan podcast, where we bring you behind the veil of sports, business, and life. I'm Joe, and this is Barry. What's going on, Barry?
Oh, it's another day in the neighborhood. Another day in the neighborhood. Will you be
Mm.
mine? Would you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor? I'm good, brother. I'm good. I'm good. How you feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling just fine. I'm just feeling just fine.
Yeah, I had an
Um,
interesting day today, to say the least. But we'll talk
mm,
all about it.
okay. Well, speaking of neighbors, I want to talk about Art Monk because he was my
Mm,
neighbor,
mm.
and
The
yeah,
great Art
he
Monk.
Yeah, he grew up in White Plains on Battle Hill, and he lived right across the street from me,
Oh, wow.
and he's related to Thelonious Monk.
Really?
Oh yeah. So now, he played in high school. He played running back and tight end, and he also ran track.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think he ran track with my brother.
Oh, okay.
So, and then when he went to Syracuse, that's when he switched to wide receiver. And he was a 4-year Orangeman Letterman there.
Mhm.
He led the team in receptions from 77 to 79, and he still ranks in the top 10 as on several school career record lists.
Wow.
He became the first Redskins. Well, he was drafted by the Redskins in '80 in the first round, and he got Rookie of the Year with a record 58 receptions.
Mm,
And then he became the first Redskins receiver to have 3 straight 1,000-yard seasons.
mm.
And yeah, and he was the first to catch 70 passes in 3 straight seasons. And he was also part of that trio who posted 1,000+ yards in the same season, all three of them. That was Gary Clark and Ricky Sanders.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Oh, they were nasty. Those guys were nasty. All right. So he's a 3-time Super Bowl champion. He won. He held the record of 106 receptions, and that stood from '84 until Sterling Sharp broke it in '92. And his record of 940 receptions stood until Jerry Rice broke that in '95.
Mm.
So now he played for the Redskins, the Jets, and the Eagles, and then he retired in '96.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, he was inducted into the NFL Hall of Fame, which I had the pleasure of going to, and I attended that and I saw him get inducted.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that
Nice.
was that was great. That was great. I got to meet his son. I got to meet Darryl Green's son.
Oh, wow. How
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. He was inducted into the College Hall of Fame in 2012,
Mm,
and he was inducted into the White Plains High School Sports Hall of Fame in 2015.
mm.
Now, he was honored at White Plains High School as a hometown Hall of Famer. And because he was in a Super Bowl, White Plains High School became an official high school of the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Wow.
And it's one of only 102 schools in the country that has that distinction.
So when you
So,
become a Hall of Famer, you get the high school gets the designation.
yes, if you're a Hall
Oh,
of Famer that played in the Super Bowl.
oh wow.
Yeah. And also, that makes those schools eligible for grants from the NFL.
Oh, how cool. Okay.
So, that's he had quite the career, and
Yeah.
he was one of those guys that was just great at whatever he did. Whatever sport he played, he was good at.
Mm-hmm.
We used to play touch football on my street because my street was the only one that didn't have any trees. So that's where we
Mm-hmm.
used to play two-hand touch. We used to play from one end of the block to the other. And
Mm-hmm.
my claim to fame was I threw him a touchdown pass. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, he was quite the gentleman, nothing but class all the way.
Mm,
Very, he was very quiet, but not quiet among his friends.
okay.
He was quiet on the outside, but when he was with his inner circle, he was a cut up.
That's right. That's good stuff.
Yeah,
That's good
man.
stuff.
Yeah, man. He was a great guy. He was a great guy. So what's going on with the transfer portal?
Well, I got a good call from a great friend of mine who is at a major D1 university in the SEC, and we were chopping it up today, and we got into a conversation of he's a big time school administrator,
Mm-hmm.
and I run things by him to kind of get an idea, and you see, use my team, and so I said, you know what, Doc, I got to ask you a question. He said, sure. What is it? He says, I'm not sure if these young men who are playing now really
Mm-hmm.
understand the transfer portal. And this
Mm.
is kind of comes on the back of another conversation about the good and the bad of the portal.
Mm.
And he says, well, what do you mean? I said, well, 2 days ago, I'm watching the ESPN and they're talking about one of these players who's a very good player, but his resume is like 3 or 4 schools. He's been in and out of the portal, in and out of the portal. And he
Mm.
said, yeah, it's a huge problem. And then
Mm.
I said, I heard the other day how Coach Prime was talking and saying, I believe in the portal. I believe in you guys getting what you're getting. But what about when you guys are not delivering, but you got the money,
Mm. Yeah.
you're getting all the advantages, but you're not performing on the field? And he went like this. Oh my goodness. Did you hear
Mm.
the conversation? Did you somehow hear the conversation I had today? I said, no, Pat, how would I? He said, you're absolutely right. It's a huge problem.
Mm.
It's a huge problem because we're right now looking at how we evaluate the young people we sign,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because the coaches are typically thinking, I just need the talent and sign them and give them the money. But the thing that's happening is a lot of these kids are coming hurt,
Mm.
injured, and
Yeah.
it's not revealed. It's not like the pros. You know how in the pros they do a physical on you when you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they know what
Yeah.
they're getting. He said, excuse me, he said to me, it's not like that. So basically a lot of schools are finding themselves burned, right? So the
Mm.
kid comes, the kid takes the money, comes from wherever, takes the money, and may never play,
Mm.
right? Or is hurt, and now he's sitting, or he doesn't play at all. But he already
Mm.
got the money.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I said, oh my goodness. Now I said, now the young man I was telling you about who's been on a number of teams, got drafted, there seems to be some issues with him because he's almost thinking now that he's a pro and things are not working out, he just jumps to another team. And it's not
Mm.
like that. You're on contract.
Mm.
The expectation is for you to perform. And so my friend says, absolutely. And the other thing about it, Barry,
Mm.
is with these kids is that they're not developing. I said, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
He says, no, that a lot of, he said, I said, now you open up what I think actually gives Coach Prime an advantage for those kids who can figure it out, right?
Yeah.
Because he says, well, what are you saying? I said, well, if I got a guy from Alabama who's a 3-time All-American, he's this, that, and the other, but he's got some off-field, on-field stuff and some immaturity stuff because he's been
Mm.
coddled.
Yeah.
Do I
Yeah.
now do I draft him, right? And it may take 2 years for him to get his head right, or
Mm.
do I take the kid from Colorado who's been coached by pros in the NFL? He's in a system that's very NFL.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a
Yeah.
greater upside than the other kid. He says, you're absolutely correct.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that is what's being evaluated because he says, I've been on the other side as a coach. And I know when I get a kid, I can develop him, but it may take a year, 2, 3 years to really get the best out of him to get him to the next level. And these kids jumping, thinking they're just going to step in to this situation and not have to learn. Like it's ridiculous. And I said, "Oh, okay, I'm not crazy. Okay, okay, I'm not crazy." So that's part A that he shared with me about the danger of the portal. Good, and it's good, but I think a lot of these kids are going to get burned because no one's giving them wisdom on how to play it.
Yeah,
To really play it to your advantage. Because I'm sitting here going, why would I? If I'm at Colorado, Deion Sanders is my head coach, which means I'm getting pro train. I'm in the pro set.
Yeah.
My offensive line, defensive line coach are NFL Hall of Famer players. So I'm in a pro set.
Yeah.
So all I got to do is do what they tell me to do if I really want to play on the next level. And even if I spend 4 years as a second or third string, I'm going to be in a much better position because I'm in a pro set.
Yes.
Plus, my coach can get on the phone with any GM in the NFL and do what? Get me an opportunity. Because that's all it is. Yeah. That's all it is. I mean, everybody makes these big deals about the draft. I said to him, right? And I said, Tom Brady went 199. So think about the fact that all those quarterbacks that came before him, most of them never won a playoff game, never went to a Super Bowl, never won a Super Bowl, and they were out of the league by the time he won his third.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the NFL, it was a week of insanity. I mean,
to say the least. Yeah.
I mean, between the Jets firing Joe Douglas, that's putting Aaron Rodgers' future in limbo at this point.
Douglas was his personal position.
Joe Douglas was the GM.
Oh, well.
Woody, I don't know who's worse, Woody or Uncle Jed, but that's another story.
Yeah, that's another story.
So, I mean, Rodgers got everything he wanted, basically, and they're still losing. So he's not the savior they thought he was, evidently.
Well, you still need a coach.
Yeah,
you can't have a guy. You can't have a guy of that profile and that pedigree. He has to have a coach.
Yeah, well, they got rid of the coach.
Well, no, I mean a pedigree coach. You gotta. He's got to play for somebody he can look up to.
Yeah.
That's not going to work.
So, okay, and then the Giants. Now, first they moved Daniel Jones to the third string, right? And then they pass over Drew Lock, so they don't have to pay him, and have Tommy DeVito start, who didn't get any reps. Then Jones. Then Jones asked for his release and he got it. Yeah. And DeVito, he didn't fare any better against the Bucks.
No, that's why they put him there.
Yeah. But here's the thing now. See, the one thing that will get an owner's attention is people leaving. Because that's what they were doing at halftime. They were leaving the stadium. Yeah. So Mr. Mara is going to have to address that and soon. Right.
Well, they're kind of reaping what they sowed.
Exactly. Now, that Cowboy Washington game was crazy.
That was a crazy game.
I'm telling you, man.
I'm like, it was a really crazy game. It was entertaining.
Oh,
I was like, these guys are scoring more points in the last 5 minutes of the game than they scored the whole game.
I'm telling you. I mean, between the blocked field goals, the impossible catches, Turpin muffs a kickoff, picks it up at the 1, makes a spin move, and just turns on the afterburners, and he was gone. It's like, gone. And then after that, Daniels throws an 86-yard strike.
Yep.
Right? And then this is what cracks me up. The extra point would have tied the game. They missed the extra point.
Yeah.
They missed the extra point. So then the onside kick, they go for the onside kick, and the Dallas DB scoops it up and runs 43 yards to ice the game. I
Iced
was
it.
like, I'm telling you, that was the wackiest game I ever saw.
That was a good game, though.
You
If you
know?
wanted some excitement, that was
Yeah.
a game.
You know? And here's the other thing now. Saquon,
Oh,
he put
Lord.
on a show.
I got so
255 yards rushing.
many people hitting me on my email because they were like, "How did you know this?" I said, "Listen, I told you when he got hurt, it's going to take a year for him to get back.
Mm.
He's a high character guy. High character guy. He's going to give you everything he's got.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They rushed him back. He got hurt again.
Mm-hmm.
Then they want to make him the fall guy for the woes of bad drafting, bad offensive and defense, no tools, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's all now Saquon's fault.
Mm-hmm.
Now he been carrying you. He been the only offense you got. You done gone through 4 or 5 coaches, but he's the only offense you got.
Mm-hmm.
And then you make your gamble. You fall in for it's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. So that you don't need a running back. All right, good luck with that.
Well,
And you say to the person who's 90% of your offense, you don't have any receivers.
mm-hmm.
You're handing the ball to him. And you somehow want to convince yourself to roll the dice on Daniel Jones and not pay him.
Mm-hmm.
The more he performs, the cheaper the price is.
Mm.
That they're saying to themselves, in comparison to what we gave Daniel Jones, with the hope, like Shannon Sharp says, it's the only position you're paid on hope. Everybody else got to perform.
Yeah. Yeah.
But a quarterback gets to get paid on hope.
Mm.
So when you look at, okay, we paid this for Daniel Jones, we probably could have kept Saquon, who was our offense, for probably 10 million more.
Yeah. And here's the other thing. Okay, we know the Giants got egg on their face because of this.
Mm-hmm.
But now they just hypothetically, because he's already in the talks about it, but say he wins MVP.
Oh, he will. If he continues.
How does that make the owners look after they devalued the running back?
They're all idiots. They're all idiots.
Exactly. You know, so
they're all idiots. And when they came up with this, I was like, here they go again. They listen to these analytic guys, and they listen to these guys, and they're trying. Think about it. It's so great. It's just capital and labor. So you figure out a way to finagle more games to make more money, but you don't want to pay the guys. It's really just screwed up. And then you created this quarterback who it's like a pissing contest. That's really what started. Well, my quarterback makes $50 million. Well, that's really how that quarterback thing happened.
Yeah, how's that working out in Jacksonville?
Ooh. But they created it. So my whole feeling is, well, this is what you created. You didn't want people sitting. You didn't want people being tutored. You didn't want to do any development. You're like, everyone's like, because it's a very exclusive club. So everybody's like, who's got the biggest yacht? I'm paying my quarterback this. You're paying me. But where's the production? Where's the development? It's not there.
Yeah.
So for $10 million, you basically let go an MVP.
Yep.
And I guarantee if they don't get that ship turned around real quick within 3 years, Mr. Mara and all those people will be gone.
Yeah.
Because they really got to start all over again.
Yes, they do. Yeah. So
because I don't even know if Daboll's going to be there.
I doubt it at this point.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So here we go again. So we're starting over again.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck.
So what's the portal's effect on the NFL in your opinion?
Well, we kind of trying to talk about it. What is happening is there's 2 sides of it. The portal is creating a mindset with a lot of these athletes that I can jump when things
Yeah.
are seemingly going my way. It doesn't
Right.
work that way in the pros,
Nah, not at all.
unless the ownership chooses it to be that way. But
That's another story.
yeah, because you got to have cohesion, development. There's a whole lot of stuff that goes on, and that's one of the things that amazingly Jerry hasn't figured out. Like, you
No.
can't run the team from the VIP suite. It
Nope.
doesn't work that way. You're sacrificing. It's a blood, sweat, and tears. It's a lot that goes into winning on the field. Trust, all kinds of things that you can't do out of the VIP. And that's why I've always said, if you want to do it, you're going to have to get on the field and do it. But sitting in the VIP and then trying to do it don't work because players don't grow up in that kind of system. Your coach is basically like almost God. His word is it. And if I know I can go around and or you're really not the man and I can go upstairs.
Yeah, that's a big problem.
Yeah, I'm not really paying. I'm not really, whatever. I'm making more money than you anyway.
Yeah, that's always been a big problem with them.
And that's the problem for 30 years now.
Yep.
And so the portal is a blessing and a curse, depending on, these kids understanding and getting good advice, because as I said, if I think that is where the NFL is. It started out with the quarterbacks. They want kids to come in ready to go and play and all that good stuff. But you got to be in the right system. You got to be in the right system. You got to be in the right system because it's a mindset, because the money's so large now. So they're really, the expectation is you got to come in and play. Yeah. You're making all this money. You got to come in and play. And now it's spreading out to everybody. You got to come in and play. So my friend, that's the good and the bad and the side effects to the NFL and the portal.
Yeah. So I'm going to switch gears a bit and talk about Formula One.
My favorite, F1.
Yeah. So now, as we know, the Andretti team was denied an application.
Again?
Well, no, they were denied. And, simply because the powers that be felt that an 11th team wouldn't bring enough value to the sport, and especially without an engine manufacturer to back them up. So now, and besides that, the other 10 teams were opposed to an Andretti coming in because they said it would dilute the prize money. So, it's always about the money.
Always about the money. They're afraid that they'll jump to the head of the line, to be honest, because of the name.
Well, now, see, this is the thing, though. Now, Andretti stepped back and took a smaller role in his organization. And now, all of a sudden, they are saying that his chances increased greatly because of that.
Oh, they're yanking his chain.
Yeah. So, they're saying, it's not bias. But as soon as he steps back, they say, okay, now we'll give it much more consideration. Yeah. So, that's basically all that is. So they said that they should have a decision within the next week or so about where he stands. So we'll have to see how that plays out. Now, Max Verstappen, this year has been an interesting year for him because, his team was clouded by controversy. And, their lead designer, he said he's leaving by 25. So, and so despite all of this, and the competition's been closing the gap on him, but his 8 wins put him over the top, and he won his 4th championship.
Wow.
So now he's not in a class with Lewis Hamilton, but he's in the room.
Yeah. You win 8. Yeah. You're in the room.
Yeah. So this is his 4th championship, because I think Hamilton has the most, right? He has 7.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he's in the room now.
Well, for now, Hamilton win another 7. He may be back out by the front yard. You
Yeah.
know.
Well, you never know, and it's going to be interesting to see how Hamilton does with Ferrari next year.
Bruh, that that if what I think is going to happen with Ferrari, he he may do something that no one will ever catch him in our lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
Because Ferrari will put the money. They will do whatever it takes to win.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And when Ferrari wins, it's like when the Cowboys win. It's extra shiny.
Yeah, yeah. So, well, we'll just have to see how that works out. So, you was talking about the NIL.
Yeah, I had to with my friend. I said I need you to explain the NIL and the collective to me, and so he gave me this. The NIL basically is an athlete can be paid for their name, image, and likeness. So I said, well, what's the difference? What's this collective? Basically, it's a group of wealthy donors who give the athletic department a pot of money, and they pay the player.
Right.
I said, oh, so the NIL, now the kid can leverage his name, image, and likeness. The collective pays him. So I said, interesting. And he said, SMU has probably got the best system right now. And I said, really? What's their system? He says, not only do they have the best system, they just joined whatever new conference and they're at the top of the conference. So I said, what are they doing? He says, they pay all the players $50,000 across the board. Then they're also eligible based on what they do and how well they do to leverage their NIL. So there's nobody making 5 million. Somebody's making 200. Somebody's making 100,000. Somebody's making 50. Nope. All of y'all get $50,000. And then on top of that is up to you.
Yeah. Well,
I said, wow.
Unfortunately, we'll have to cut it off right there, and maybe we'll pick this up next week.
Same back channel. As we always say in Smarterfan podcast, stay in the game. It's been fun, my friend. It's always fun, always a good time. And we'll have more treats next week.
All right, everybody, have a good night and have a happy Thanksgiving.
Ho, ho, ho. Oh, that's Christmas.
Smarterfan.